All right, hello, Bullionaires. It's Chris here. I am sporting my Bullion hat, coin book shirt, and our guest of honor is the CEO of coinbook.com, Calvin Waite. I've talked to Calvin via email before and online messengers and such. Never in person. We've chatted a little bit here, and it's delightful to meet him and chat a bit. And this is my first interview. I'm very excited to have such a big one set up here with Calvin. So this is going to be cool. And Calvin
Yeah,
is also sporting his bullion
yeah.
hat.
I,
So
I got some swag not long ago, so
yeah, look at that.
very
That's
happy about it.
beautiful
I don't look
logo.
good in a hat, but hey,
You look great. Everybody looks good in a bullion hat, for the record. So can't go wrong. All right, Calvin. So welcome. Happy New Year. Appreciate you taking the invitation and coming on here. Um, I guess we could just start off with, maybe you tell us a little bit about yourself, just so the listeners here are familiar and can put
yeah,
some background to the face and the person.
sure. So, uh, I've been involved. I was introduced to cryptocurrency, Bitcoin specifically, back in 2012, and I was, kind of, I was involved in a lot of financial type of things. I studied finance as an undergrad and also finance in my master's degree. So I've done a lot of trading and a lot of messing around with markets. We programmed high frequency trading algorithms and done a lot of work, learning a lot about market making and different things. And we've been me and my partner Nate, we're looking for an opportunity to kind of really expand our reach and our impact in the crypto markets. And it was a couple of years ago when we first got introduced to Bullion, and we really fell in love with the coin. We really liked the community. We liked the international aspect of the community, and we really liked the chain itself, how quick it is. We like the idea of a staking coin to kind of break it up. I kind of feel like when you diversify your assets, you want to diversify across technologies as well when it comes to cryptocurrency. So we hold a lot of Bitcoin and other proof of work coins, and we've kind of been really selective about which proof of stake coins we like. And Bullion just rose to the top of the list, and we've been tracking the progress for quite a while now. So hopefully that serves as an introduction there.
Yeah. No, that's great stuff. Yeah. And that's not uncommon. A proof of work seems to run the majority share of cryptos. So it's nice to see people seeing that the proof of stake and the green aspect and that nature. I personally think that's more the way that it goes in the future, but proof of work certainly has a claim on the majority share of the market presently. So yeah, it's interesting. It's good to diversify though. Absolutely, that's a great investment strategy. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, right?
Yeah, yeah, they preach that all day long.
Yeah. All right, Cal, so I have a few questions that I kind of come up with here, and we'll go with these. Maybe we'll transition into some other topics, or if anything that you want to discuss specifically, we can do that. And of course, we can do another interview at another time as well. Hopefully, the Bullion and Coin Book partnership will continue long into the future, and we're all going to grow together. Um, which would be the ideal. So yeah, first thing, you gave us a little background, um, and so as far as like cryptocurrency is concerned, you said you got involved in 2012, and I know you were telling this story a bit. I saw your last interview on Facebook, just how
Yeah.
you got into it. I thought it was a cool story. So if you want to share a little bit about that, that would be great for the people who haven't heard your other interview.
Yeah, let me just kind of repeat a little bit of that. So I was at a park one day with one of my friends, and our kids were playing, and my friend knew that I was involved in markets and had an interest in markets and financial instruments and different things. And he said, "Hey man, I've got something that might really be interesting to you." He said, "I've been mining these Bitcoin with my laptop." And he said, I've mined a whole bunch of these and I've sold them and I've made around $400. And I looked at him like, wait a second, you're mining Bitcoin with your laptop and you're making money doing this? Like, you have physical money, like you actually got dollars to show for what you've done. And he's like, yeah. So he said, this thing, Bitcoin, I've mined a bunch. I've been selling them at around $5. And I was just thinking, the fact that it was worth more than $1 was really the thing that it just really floored me. Because when you deal in finance, there are all these analysts, and there's all these technical analysts and chart people and everything else, and then there's the fundamental group, and everybody looks at all of this stuff, but really, what a company or what an asset is worth is what a person's willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
And the cumulative amount of the world's opinion on the value of something comes down to the people that are buying and selling right at that exact moment. And what really kind of got me is that here's something digital that people are buying and selling, and they are valuing that commodity at higher than the price of a single dollar in the United States. Well, that told me a lot about that there was something there.
Yeah.
And so I kind of asked him. I said, "How on earth does this work? Well, everything electronic can be copy and pasted, and how could people be spending $5 on something that's electronic? It just didn't make sense to me." And he told me that it was limited, that there was only going to be 21 million ever, and that there's this mining thing, and it was all built into the software. And you know what? I believed him. And the reason I believed him is because it was trading at $5.
Yeah.
If it could have been hacked, if it could have been messed around with, if it was risky to a certain point, there's no way it would have traded for more than $1. And that's how I immediately could see that there was a global reason why this exists. And I decided that it was time to buy some right there on the spot. So here we are at the park, he's explaining all this, and I just can't believe my ears. And I went ahead and bought 10 Bitcoin from him right there in the park for $150. I paid him $15 each, which was more than you could have bought it. But so anyway,
you got ripped off.
Yeah, I got ripped off. That was a terrible deal.
$3,000+ a piece now.
Yeah, so it was funny because I had to. It was a battle to hang on to those 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, we traded and messed around, and we lost money and gained money, and I lost 5.2 Bitcoin on MT Gox, and then we moved a bunch over to Cryptsy, and we traded and messed around there, and we lost. That almost liquidated us. We almost ran out with Cryptsy, and but we always kept things going, and we always had projects, and we were building and learning, and finally we finally got to a point where we had a decent amount, and so we decided that it was time to invest in the industry and really kind of move the ball and move things and move forward. So that's kind of how I began, and it has completely morphed into, hey, I want to, what I want to do with my life is I want to give to others the value proposition that I see in cryptocurrency. And that is, I mean, it's a cryptocurrency can't be, I mean, it can be a store of value, but it has to have an exit. It has to have an entrance or an exit, or else what do you have? And there are a lot of coins that have died because there's no way to buy or sell them. And you have to have a simple way to get it in and out, or else the coin, I mean, it's the difference between a private company and a public company. You want to sell your private company, it's a pain. You want to sell your public company, you log in and in 5 minutes you've sold whatever ownership you've got.
Yeah.
And it makes a huge difference. And so we decided that we wanted to be involved in giving some of these coins a chance, and also be involved in the growth of cryptocurrency. The option of people buying something in a cryptocurrency means there needs to be a method of exchange. If a company wants to accept bullion, for example, but they have bills in dollars, they need a place where they can make that switch.
Yeah.
And that's the type of thing we wanted to add to the economy.
Cool. Yeah, very good foresight on your part. See, I first saw Bitcoin when it was about $5 as well, and started watching it and watched the fluctuations. My difficulty was, and this is kind of a process I guess traders kind of go through, you make an investment and you buy, say, your 10 Bitcoins for $15 a piece, and then like you said, it's hard to hold on to them when they go to $30 or $45. Sure. But then now when it's at $3,000, you're like, oh man, I guess I should have held out. That 300% profit probably wasn't a good exit.
Oh yeah, I have lots of friends that kind of got involved in it, and they're like, finally went to 2,500, I'm out.
Yeah.
And then it goes up to 5,000, and then 10,000, and you know what? Let me just tell you, this is my personal opinion. I think, 20,000 is not the high.
Yeah.
That is not going to be the historical future. It's not going to be the high of Bitcoin. It's just not going to be. The next bubble is going to surpass this like you've never seen. That's just my opinion.
That's kind of been the trend. Yeah. I guess I've been around just about as long as you, watching it as well, and that's what you see time and again. And finally, after experimenting with trading myself, I don't do trading anymore. I just invest in something and then just hold on to it. And just wait. It goes up, and yeah, great. You can certainly play the market when it goes up, and if that Bitcoin, for example, if you had sold at 20,000, and then buy back at 3,000 or 3,500, whatever it is now, it's a great play. But what if it kept on going, which is typically what happens? It's so hard to sell and buy at the right times unless you really know what you're doing or you have insider information. Markets can be manipulated to certain extents by big investors, and you end up getting squeezed and losing out.
Yeah.
So that's kind of become that's my default now. Is just invest in something and hold on to it and just wait. And if it's something that you want to be a part of, you can always contribute and help out or get involved in the market like you've done yourself, which is really cool stuff. So it was your idea, CoinBook, or was it Nate's idea? You guys kind of came up with it. How did it say, hey, we need to start an exchange? And then what was the mission statement? What was the vision of this exchange you guys wanted to create?
So Nate and I, we met in a restaurant. This is only like 2 years ago, and I was just talking to him, and I said, hey, you know what? The way Bitcoin is going, and this is the beginning of, let's see, no, it would have been middle of 2017. And so finally we could see some of the fruits of our investments, you know what I mean? And we were sitting back thinking, wow, like the amount of Bitcoin that we have and the amount of coins that we are under control, they're going to be pretty decent. And this was our conversation. We sat down and we said, and I said, you know what we've got? We've got the problem of rich uncle died and gave us a pile of money. You know what I mean? And I said, we have to come up with a business of some kind because, just being in markets, I know that what comes up can come down, and holding coins is essentially a high risk investment. And so we wanted to diversify that risk a little bit. You've got your low risk investments that are your actual stocks and retirement, which is most people's medium to high risk. But then you got, but then medium risk in our minds was, well, let's create a business because it's risky and it's expensive, but it will create an income and it will create a longer thing. So we've got our high risk, we've got our middle risk, and then our low risk is, just, whatever we pull out in savings and live on, and, the stuff that you got to take care of your family with. But, so I asked him, we got to do something. I want to come up with some kind of business. And he looks over at me and he says, we should do a cryptocurrency exchange. And I looked at him like, you're out of your mind. I was like, do you know how many exchanges get hacked and like the problems they deal with? Like every government agency doesn't even know what to do with crypto, and the rules could change at any moment. And you screw up something in crypto and you're in trouble. Like it's very unforgiving if you bankrupt a company and you've got thousands and thousands of customers. You know what I mean? I looked at him like, that is probably the riskiest thing that could have come out of your mouth. and I said, but I had to digest the thought of it. You know what I mean? So anyway, we talked and laughed about it and everything else. But over the next few weeks, I really, really started thinking about it and realized that crypto is fun. I mean, it's an amazing industry and it's absolutely cutting edge. There's probably no like right on the fringe cutting edge of new technology than cryptocurrency. It's the biggest thing that will probably happen in our lifetimes.
Yeah.
And as I thought about it and talked about it, I said, okay, well, if we do this, we need to have everything figured out. Like we're not going to be doing a half job at this. Like it's just too risky. So I used to work at Goldman Sachs, and they have a philosophy of risk quotient. And what they'll do is they'll say, this aspect of our business, if it's in this range, it's going to be, they rank everything 1 to 5. And so 5 is absolutely out of control, ridiculous amount of risk. And then they have measurements that'll lead between 1 and 5. And anything that's a 5 needs to be reduced. And then they'll continually like reevaluate their numbers and push them higher so that they can kind of control their risk. Like that's the investment strategy of Goldman Sachs. And so in my mind, I'm thinking there are things about running a Bitcoin exchange or a cryptocurrency exchange that are deal breakers. Like there are things that we cannot do wrong. And so we talked with some really smart lawyers, and we essentially took their advice on all of the major issues. They even went to the state of Utah, the Department of Finance, and talked to these people. We went and tried to get our money transmitter license. We had everything complete. We had all of our T's crossed and our I's dotted. And then it turned out that that cryptocurrency wasn't money in the state of Utah. So we didn't need that. But because we had gone through all of that, we had documentation and a really good plan. We have a great paper trail of why we're legal doing what we're doing. And we've just really been careful about a lot of that. And then, and now we're currently running, and all of our coins currently are all cold wallets. Like deposits and things that go into Coinbook, they are all on hardware wallets, and we worked out a system to where we manually approve the sends and things like that. And that is, so it's interesting, like the wallets that are generated are not connected to the internet, actually.
Yeah.
We actually we generate the wallets offline, import them into a database. And so our structure is as absolutely as secure as it can possibly be, because we don't want to wake up the next morning and see, you know, good morning, FBI, how are you today? You know, I mean, there's some things that you can't do wrong, and we are absolutely not going to make those mistakes. But I mean, that's how CoinBook started. I mean, I kind of went over on your question.
No, that's good. That's good.
We take it so seriously. I can't even tell you.
That's good information. And then the next part of the question was kind of, so there are a lot of exchanges out there, and there's some that aren't out there that used to be out there, and then there's some big ones out there that you know, you have your Coinbase is kind of the preeminent one in the U.S., even though it isn't the highest volume, but that's really, I think that and Gemini probably as well, where investors, at least U.S. investors, will invest in cryptocurrencies and buy cryptocurrencies because they've gone through all the legal hurdles. So now we have CoinBook coming online, and CoinBook, what is the differentiation between CoinBook? I know you guys have passed through all the legal hurdles, so you guys have met the same qualifications, but why does United States presently, and hopefully the world at some point, but why does the United States need CoinBook? What's CoinBook offering? Who's your target that differentiates from, you know, what the Coinbases, Geminis of the world are doing?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, during the Bitcoin split, where Bitcoin Cash came on the scene, Nate and I were just fed up to no end with all of the groups that essentially, it was kind of a money grab in our eyes. It kind of felt like, you know, originally when Coinbase added a coin, there was a huge pump before it was announced, and there was a lot of corruption. And I think that, you know, I think they've added some things and mitigated some of that. So I'm not going to say that they still have those types of problems, but back when we were dealing with that, we were frustrated by how they confused everybody between what a Bitcoin was, and it just really, it really infuriated us, because in our minds, cryptocurrency is it's supposed to be a grassroots concept. It needs to be money for the people, by the people, you know, not controlled by the government and everything else. And I'm not against government. We're complying with everything as far as banking laws and regulations, and you'll see that on our site. But what cryptocurrency gave the world was an alternative to banks, and it gave people choice over how they spend their money. Well, the last thing we need is another cryptocurrency. We don't need a different type of bank. And that's exactly what these other exchanges are. Hey, you know, we're totally in bed with Wall Street. Like, hey, we got all these Wall Street insiders, and we got all these people. That wasn't good news to us. I mean, yeah, it helped the price. I mean, it pumped the price up pretty good. But where are we now? Back where we were almost, you know. And it all has to do with Wall Street getting on board. And I kind of feel like, you know, it should be, price should be determined by small individuals that have to use it on a normal basis. It shouldn't be pushed around by master manipulators that have studied their entire lives how to, you know, what indicators and what technicals people use, and they use those technicals to trick people into making decisions. I mean, I can't even tell you how many times you'll see, oh, we finally got a buy signal, and 2 minutes later, after this buy signal is confirmed, there's a major sell-off. And there's a lot of that. And it's unfortunate, but it's part of, you know, I mean, everyone's going to get their feet wet when it comes to markets. But we felt like the world needed something a little more in line with the philosophy of cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
And what we love most about Bitcoin is what we love most about crypto bullion, is that it's a store of value. it's rare. You can't just go and you can't just immediately go and get a ton of it, or even mine a ton of it. And it's way more secure because it's because of the proof of stake. You know, you have to own half the market in order to actually 51% attack it and everything else. So, I mean, there's just a lot of good things, and I think average people need to know about it. And who else is going to bring these to the public's eye? I don't know. So me and Nate are like, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
And we totally came on board. But we've added our own personal taste, you know. I mean, if you get on, you'll notice that there are some achievements that are, I think I'm hilarious. So I put all these kind of dad joke type of little achievements in there. And we try to make it kind of fun. But, and that's something you won't find. And that's part of our differentiation. Because you know what's old fashioned is boring business people.
Yeah.
It's old fashioned. That is how they ran businesses in the 1900s to the 1980s or whatever. But in the 2000s, businesses that do well actually connect to people, and they connect to them on a more intimate level. And if you can get someone to smile and kind of take their mind off of their stressful life, you've done something good, you know? And so when we joke around with people and we have our little, our error messages that come up and throw people off balance and stuff. And it's I feel like it's an essential part of business that's missing. And a lot of banks, they just love the pillars and all of the things that are really stuffy and old fashioned. And we just feel like you can still be an awesome company and keep things secure and do things the right way, and still, you know, bring a smile to people's face. So CoinBook's absolutely different.
Yeah.
We planned on it being different, and it is.
It sounds like you guys have more of a crypto, the approach to crypto, the general approach that was intended with crypto, of decentralization, having control of your own finances, having fun, not relying on a third party, being responsible for yourself. And, that it seems like that is really the same philosophy that CoinBook is employing. And it's refreshing. It really is. It's great to see. And yeah, I can't think of anywhere else that I see that occurring. It's great. There's definitely a niche there, and I think you guys are doing a spectacular job so far. It's very very nice to see.
Well, the part of the reason we can even do that is because me and Nate are the complete sole owners of CoinBook, and I mean we are walking away from profits. If we fractionally reserve the coins that are deposited on our site instead of telling people to get them into their own cold storage, we could make money on that. If we went and chased the latest and greatest ICO and just added any old coin just because volume was crazy, we could make a lot of money on that. Like we didn't intend on setting this company up. I mean, we expect to make money, but we expect to do it the right way. And we're not gonna compromise on our principles and the ideals that cryptocurrency is offering the world to do it. And I honestly think that if we can stick to these ideals and build it the way that it really should be built, I think the public will reward us and that people will use us.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's a little expensive in a bear market. I'm not gonna lie, but man, we're doing fine, and we're gonna see this thing through to the end. So
awesome. Oh, good stuff. Yeah, thank you for what you guys are doing. It's awesome. I guess staying in the line with CoinBook, I know you guys recently added Litecoin, correct? What coins are listed there? And then do you mind just a quick overview of what the philosophy is of how a coin gets added, and what you guys are not looking to add? Kind of give us the differences between those two, please.
Sure. So we have 5 coins that are live and trading on our site, and they are the 5 that Nate and I discussed a year and a half ago of what we wanted to add. And honestly, I don't even know if we're going to add another coin for quite a while. The idea was we wanted to create an exchange where people that were new to crypto would have a safe place to buy and sell. Well, part of providing a safe place for people to buy and sell is providing the right assets for people to trade. You can't add the most, like the newest ICO that hasn't even seen its first hype cycle to your exchange and expect people to not get hurt.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. And so we added only coins that are 4 or 5 years old. So we've added, of course, Bitcoin, and then Bullion was next, and then we had Digibyte, now Feathercoin, and then finally Litecoin. So those are the 5 that we are adding, and they are all coins that have been through plenty of hype cycles. There's still a community there. They are coins that we like personally. They just and this is the idea, is that we wanted coins that were not ICOs, that aren't tokens, that aren't securitized assets, that aren't any of these, more recent manufacturers. Because honestly, who knows what the futures of those are? I don't. And I'll tell you one thing is, anything we add to Coinbook is going to stay there forever. Like, we're not planning on delisting anything. And so that makes us really judicious.
Yeah.
We have to be looking way into the future to say, is this the type of coin that we can stand behind for a long, long time? Can my friends and family buy these coins and there's a future there? And Bullion's one of those coins. It's one of those really old coins. It's got great ideas. You have active developers, and we're just going to provide a market. And if you've got a good coin and you've got a market, nothing can stop that coin. You just can't.
Cool.
So.
And you're going to see me swinging around here. Some you probably already saw it already. There's a mosquito that's flying around. I haven't been able to catch him yet, but let me see me doing crazy stuff. That's what's going on here. Hopefully that doesn't throw you off.
It's a little later here. The cleaners just came, so if they turn on a vacuum, I might go and talk to them. So
okay,
anyway,
no problem. That certainly is helpful when you're looking at something for future or for long term. It helps to have some kind of past to kind of look at and gauge things by. So I think that's a very good approach, looking at things with the history, rather than just promises of the future and what are you going to do, as opposed to what have you done and what you plan on doing in the future. Getting both of those pieces in.
Yeah.
And the public reception so far, how's that going? I know you guys are pretty new. I think you first launched with Bitcoin. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was it end of November, beginning of December, right around there?
We actually launched on October 31st.
Okay.
10-year
Halloween.
Bitcoin.
Yeah. Yes.
We hit that and launched it, but to be honest, we weren't quite ready. It was a little rocky start for us. We had some issues with verification and things. People, we had to kind of hold some hands to get people through the process. But I'd say that our system was majority of the way there, mid-December and end of December. So we're starting off a new year, and we finally started seeing a decent amount of volume this month, and we're starting to move forward. I'm not going to get specific because we're still young and there's nothing to brag about quite yet, but it's slow and steady. We have people signing up every day. So the idea is to just keep that little ball rolling and that ball get a little bigger. And as the months go by, we're ready to go. But our business plan is, we are going live in a bear market, and we know what the environment's like. People are not looking for Bitcoin right now, and so it's a little tougher sell. And we expect this to probably last 6 months to a year. I think within 12 months, I think the market will absolutely turn, and I think we'll see a whole different scenario. But we are still we still have lots of runway to last a good year in a bear market. So that's sort of our plan. Reception's been decent. I mean, a lot of people who understand what we're doing, they like it, and so slowly but steadily. Nothing to get all crazy and brag about yet, but we're getting there.
Yeah, but growth, and then also, that's it's easier to kind of not necessarily learn on the job, but grow an exchange as you grow the interest, as opposed to launching in a bull market. You would just be flooded and overwhelmed, and then this kind of gets you the opportunity to tailor your approach and have that more intimate, personable response and feel. So it fits well.
Yeah, we are building every day, so it actually is really nice.
Yeah,
because we have plenty of time to tweak and improve and make improvements. We just pushed an update even today on how banks are linked and things, and it's way simpler and way more intuitive. Like, we're going to get through a lot of this stuff, and we are getting it ready for the volume, and it's coming because just like in 2017 when your friend from high school that you haven't spoken to in 30 years calls you up and says, hey, I heard that you were into Bitcoin. Could you explain how to this and that? People are coming out of the woodwork asking for advice. Well, that's coming again. So we'll be ready for it when we get there.
Yeah. It certainly, I do think it's going to come again. And I think 2019 could be a big year for cryptocurrency in general. And it's such a strange environment now. I guess there's a government shutdown going on. I steer clear of news, and my news for some time was just I'd see things relayed on Facebook, but Facebook I'm not even really looking at now either. So I'm aware of things going on, but it can kind of get depressing, the things that you hear. But it's a very interesting environment. Let's put it at that. That's going on, and worldwide. So who knows what the future holds, but I hope people are taking opportunities to diversify into different things. If you can, I think some precious metals, maybe some land, stocks, 401k, and put some cryptocurrency in there as well. Get your bases covered so you have a future. But yeah, it's a lot of unknowns out there. But I think cryptocurrency certainly is going to be a big piece of the future. What are you guys doing as far as marketing now for CoinBook? I know you've been hitting the interview circuit, and it is, as you have mentioned, it's difficult to really promote things in the current state of the market. And when there's a little bit more excitement, things kind of snowball and sell themselves. Right now, you can invest a lot into marketing and advertising, and it's basically throwing money down the tubes, because if somebody has earmuffs on, you can talk all day, but you're just wasting your words and wasting your energy, because they're not going to be able to hear that. So is right now, is there any kind of a formal or a financial advertising aspect that you guys are doing, or are you just doing word of mouth, maybe conferences? What's the advertising approach for CoinBook?
So we've kind of done a little bit of social media here and there. We tried to at least get people to know that we exist, and I think that's probably where the bulk of our traffic has come from so far. But we try to do a lot of community outreach things. A week ago, I was at the University of Utah talking to students, trying to teach people about why Bitcoin matters and why cryptocurrency is going to change the future and things like that. So I do some of that. I do speak in meetups and different things here and there. But as far as a formal marketing plan, we're probably launching one at the end of this month. what I've decided to do is I've talked to our development team, and they're essentially buttoning up. So what's kind of neat is that we've got a good user base right now. Like here and there, we'll get suggestions through our support ticket system, and they'll say, hey, this would make me feel more comfortable, or this didn't quite make sense to me, or whatever. And people gave us some good suggestions, and we've got a list of things that we want to really have perfect before we can really take on a decent amount of volume. So I'm thinking that by the end of this month, we'll be ready to do a pretty decent push. And so, yeah, I think we've got a pretty decent budget for advertising. I've actually been holding off on pushing that until we have things exactly the way we want them. But I'm really proud of our site right now. It's very, very functional, and everything's pretty easy and crystal clear. So we're just about there.
Cool. Yeah, that's a good key. Make things easy for people, and that's important. I think I may have seen this on Coinbase. I don't know if this is something you guys have looked at, but they do. Pretty sure they do it where they kind of bundle several different currencies together, cryptocurrencies together. And so somebody who wants kind of like a sampler pack, somebody wants to invest X amount of dollars into crypto, it would already be predetermined. Like, for example, you have the 5 coins on there. If somebody wanted to buy $100 worth of coins, maybe a pack that would give you, $20 in each one, and then you just get a bundled thing. I don't know if that's something you guys have looked at, but it seemed like a good idea in tune with the diversification kind of concept.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, and then people get an opportunity to get some Bitcoin, get some other coins, and experience some of the different nuances. Faster coins as opposed to the more popular, as opposed to proof of stake and Litecoin, and you kind of get a better understanding of what the market offers, and opportunity for growth with whatever kind of does well.
Yeah, well, that's interesting, because I was aware of Coinbase doing that, and then they've closed that down. They don't do it anymore. And they were charging a 2% fee on that package, which is
on top of their regular fee.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's a great idea. We wouldn't charge a fee, but I think it'd be really smart to say, hey, and we'd probably have to figure out percentages and things and do a little market research, but that's not a bad idea. Yeah. Because if newbies are like, hey, these are the coins that Coinbook trusts, why not get a little piece of them all? So not bad. I got that down. We'll see about that.
Do you think that's kind of more your target audience is people who are brand new to crypto? Is that really who you're reaching out to? I think that's really the untapped vast majority of people out there, which will take things to the next level where you don't have this third-party reliance, where people can kind of be responsible for themselves and their own finances. Is really everybody, like your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, all friends, everybody just kind of getting involved, as opposed to just they hear about something and there's a small niche of people who are kind of the early adopters, as they're called.
Yeah, well, I kind of feel like. So, I mean, that kind of leads back to the question that you asked about the like Coinbase and Gemini and those. They've kind of steered towards institutional investors.
Yeah.
And really, there aren't that many options for just Joe Schmo, average guy, And so, yeah, I mean, we've made it simple and tried to make the experience just as easy as possible for somebody who is new. But really, our target market is really anybody that doesn't want to be an institutional investor and be, I mean, even people, probably the majority of the people that are registered with us now are people that have been involved in cryptocurrency for a long time, but they don't want to support some of these larger companies for philosophical reasons and for some of the decisions that they've made. And it's kind of like, I just think that since we kind of, our philosophy is a little bit more in line with what cryptocurrency sort of is supposed to stand for, at least in my mind, that's our target market. People that don't want to use another form of banking. I mean, a lot of these other exchanges, they're banks.
Yeah.
That's what they are. And we're trying to not be that. And so we're tailoring for everyone who can see through that, I guess.
Yeah. It's good. It's good stuff. And what is 2019? I know you said in about a month you got some advertising that you're probably going to be kicking off. What else is in store for CoinBook for 2019?
Oh man, we got a lot of stuff in store. So we have plans to create a little bit of a store, and it's not really supposed to be the focus of the site, but we want to give people a place where they can buy hardware wallets and get access to things that will help them. And so we're going to probably rely on, ideally it would be really neat to create a little, if we could figure out the development for crypto bullion, to figure out like a Raspberry Pi wallet or something that people could have access to, like we would totally put something like that up on our site.
Yeah.
Just anything that will help people, give them the tools that they need to be successful with cryptocurrency. Also, we'll probably put some little swag on there. I like I said, I kind of have a funny sense of humor. I was thinking that we should get like an 8-ball that says "not financial trading advice," and put buy, sell, and hodl.
Yeah.
It's fun.
The magic 8-ball and investing.
Not financial advice. I have to say that. So funny. But anyway, we just want to come up with some stuff that kind of pushes the cryptocurrency industry forward and things like that.
Yeah.
So that's something that I'd really like to do. And what I'd like to do is allow people to buy that kind of thing with either the dollars that are on their account or the cryptocurrency that they have.
Yeah.
So create something like that. I also think that throughout this year, I'm working on small business, because we don't want to necessarily be we absolutely don't want to be an institutional place for investors, but there are a lot of mom and pop companies that would like to accept cryptocurrency. And if we can create some tools for them, that would be a huge win this year. I would really love to get that moving. Going international would also be really amazing. So we've got a lot of work ahead of us. So everybody that's supported us to this point, we absolutely love you to death, because we have a ways to go. We're behind. We don't have $1 billion raise like some of these other companies to just build everything. We're going organic. We're going slow and steady, and we're building things slowly but correctly.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I feel like we've got a lot of things to do for this upcoming year, and I think a little bit of like small merchant options and things like that. We've got some things that we got to get going, but I don't obviously have anything to promise yet.
Well, no, it sounds like you have plenty of ideas though, and things that haven't really been done. And it sounds very exciting. I'm excited to watch, and I'm sure we'll be having you back here to talk some more about the developments that you guys have and how things are progressing. It's been great to have you on here. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to be on here. I know the Bullion community has been big fans of the CoinBook being on our roadmap for some time, and everybody's excited about the CoinBook launch and the Bullion listing, of course. And this is really exciting times for everybody. Really looking forward to the future, and it's been great to have you on here. Anything that you'd like to share or mention that where I haven't steered the conversation? Anything else you want to throw out there?
Well, not really. It's funny, I have a lot of opinions, and I have a lot of things that the way that I think things should be run, and we're just kind of going after it. But I also recognize that CoinBook may not be for everybody. There are some people that may not appreciate our sense of humor. I mean, that's possible.
A lot of people do like to get offended at little things. You gotta walk a fine line. I saw it was like a public service announcement. I don't remember what company it was, but I got an email where they were apologizing. I guess the Home Alone movie. They had made some kind of a comment in their Christmas card saying, "You filthy animals." That one line from there. Keep the change, you filthy animal. So they had used the filthy animals thing. People got offended by it. They had to do a formal apology via email. Like, oh my gosh, you can't have fun anymore. So yeah, you got to kind of be sensitive. But I appreciate that kind of stuff. So. But I understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean we're trying to do things the right way, and we got challenges and we got things we're working through. But wow, I'll tell you, where we started and where we are, man, we love where we are right now. Things are looking great. Things are smooth. Trades are processing just fine. Like things are rolling, and I'm telling you, I've been really excited about Bullion and the future that it has. Obviously, we got news about the Cryptopia, and that's really sad. That was a good place to. It was probably our higher volume place for a Bitcoin pair. Yeah. Which, by the way, we probably won't do any Bitcoin pairs on CoinBook. The niche that we're hitting is we're trying to help people get in and out. And I think people should use a decentralized exchange for crypto to crypto changes. I just think you do. I think you should. We're only centralized because you have to be. Somebody's got to be connected to banking, and somebody's got to make sure that the laws are being followed and everything. So that's where that's our place where we've camped out. And I think it's a bottleneck, and it needs to it's something that needs help. But I'm so excited about all the other developments and things that are happening, and I'm really excited for the future. So won't be long before Bullion gets to a little nicer level, but we'll be patient for the market too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there you go, Bullionaires. Calvin Wade, CEO of CoinBook.com. If you haven't checked them out, please do give them some support. They're doing things differently. They're doing things the right way and organically growing and promoting decentralization. It's really I couldn't be happier with the matching for Bullion and the Bullion community. So again, Calvin, thank you for your time. Bullionaires, I'll be back with another video sometime in the near future, and hopefully we'll have Calvin back again here very soon, and give them your support, guys. All right. Thank you.
See ya.